Corporation, powering possibilities.
NTA News. When the news breaks, we mend it and present.
Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Norlene Ebel Ame. Meeting to review and adopt the committee works on the twin increase of petroleum, motor spirit and electricity tariff has resolved to meet in 3 weeks. This is to enable the organized labor time to study the recommendations submitted by the committees. Although the Committee on Electricity Tariff is yet to finish work on its technical report, which is expected in a week's time.
The Committee on Petroleum Pricing have finished their work. They have sent in the reports. We received the report and adopted the reports. So Labour asked for some time to go and subject the reports to their various organs. It's a technical report.
We are coming back at the end of 21 days after Labour has taken time to look at the report, and I'm sure we will get a landing on the matter.
Is there any hope of new templates in 3 weeks?
Yes, already the committee has suggested, made some recommendations, far-reaching recommendations, which I believe are quite acceptable. But, well, it all depends on Labour.
We accepted the report as a working document. So we have gone through the report and we found out that there are some elements in the report that certainly we need to interrogate the report very well because part of the report is what we refer to as the regulation, but which is based on import-driven deregulation, which means that some of the variables, that is exchange rate, inflation, and the price of crude oil at the international market will continue to drive the process of price modulation. And we thought that that may be a cycle that will not have an end, and therefore we need to do a broader consultation and come up with something that we think can be beneficial, both to Nigerian workers and Nigerians as a whole.
Correspondent Emmanuel Aimero reports that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, as well as the organized labor are hopeful that year 2021 will bring luck to Nigerians instead of challenges. I'm still looking at labor, the need for various industrial and labor unions to be strategic and proficient in addressing and minimizing trade dispute at the different level of engagement has become a talking point in recent times. This was re-echoed by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria while exploring ways of curbing frequent industrial actions in the country. Butwa Mila reports.
The alarming rate of industrial strike actions in Nigeria is cause for concern. It will seem with each passing day comes one form of strike action or another in different social engagement and strata of national life. What was one thought to be a British disease seems to have caught up with Nigeria. Guest on Good Morning Nigeria, while analyzing these growing concerns, reiterates the need for proper alignment of agreement, bargaining and social dialogue between government and various unions in the country in resolving disputes of interest.
Labor is not a commodity, it's human beings. it has aspirations. You need to nurture it. You need to motivate it. You need to engage in discussion with it, dialogue. And in most cases, some of the conflict we have is that we have abandoned dialogue. Instead of social dialogue, we have monologue, in which you just announce, measures and say workers should take them.
Failure of industrial relations practice. Because you see, when you go and you have a collective agreement, you agree through a process of negotiation. If you do not then regard the terms of the agreement as binding, then you are going to have violations leading to frequent shutdowns.
It is essentially the responsibility of government, federal government, to fund education. Fund education, because everywhere we are talking about egalitarian society.
The guest also emphasized the importance of formal training for labor unions to engender positive and informed industrial relation between the government and the unions for a better workforce and mutual understanding among stakeholders in the country. In Abuja, Butuo Miller, NTA News.
The federal government has extended deadline for the ongoing National Identification Number (NIN) and Subscriber Identity Module (SIM) integration exercise by 8 weeks. A statement jointly signed by Director Public Affairs of the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) Ikechukwu Adindi and Head Corporate Communications NIMSI Kayode Adegoke indicates that the new deadline is April 6, 2021. This development is major fallout of the Ministerial Task Force on NIN SIM registrations meeting chaired by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, and which had all key players in attendance, including telecommunication companies, regulators, and unions. So far, a total of 56.18 million NINs have been collected by the mobile network operators, representing a significant increase when compared with the 47.8 million reported by the Technical Committee on January 18, 2021. The statement commends Nigerians for their efforts and urges those yet to get their national identity numbers to take advantage of the extension to do so, while promising to ensure an easier and COVID-19 safe registration process for all Nigerians and legal residents. Leadership problem, perhaps the most cited reason for underdevelopment in Africa, was revisited at the National Defense College Course 29 lecture series. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, drew the attention of leaders in Nigeria, especially the participants, to the need for national peace and unity through strategic leadership. Ignatius Nko reports.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, was invited to share his leadership experience with the National Defense College Course 29 participants as guest lecturer. The focal point was on strategic political leadership and its derivatives.
The strategic leader will be tasked to no end to be ingenious and solution-driven.
Drawing from his personal experiences at the National Assembly since 1999, he harped on harmony and unity of purpose among leaders as the greatest tool for national development.
That as a country, Nigeria is heterogeneous. And as leaders, we must ensure that we weave the diversity into our strength, that we are able to create and sustain unity to engender peace and progress.
Responding to some questions bordering on national economy, Senator Lawan supported a 5-year economic plan for Nigeria, fully mechanized agricultural sector, and the provision of more employment opportunities by the private sector.
Let's make our agricultural sector in Nigeria provide us with food security. We need to feed ourselves from what we produce.
Some of the participants followed the lecture virtually in compliance with COVID-19 protocols. From the National Defense College, Abuja, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
And still looking at security, the Chief of Defense Staff has described as untrue the news going around that more abducted Chibok girls have escaped from Boko Haram captivity. He was speaking in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, while fielding questions from journalists after an assessment of the security situation on ground.
That we have been conducting is not new. The operation has been on now for well over 1 month. And so the intensity of the operation, of course, is what have led to so many of those who have been held behind lines to escape. Now, you said you had a rumor. So what do you want me to confirm to you? The rumor? What we know is that we do not have any of the Chibok girls in our custody, that is with us. So if they are not with us, what do we want us to confirm to you? It's like you asking us to go to every home to begin to confirm who and who lives in those homes. All I can tell you is that yes, we desire that the rest of the Chibok girls will receive their liberty. And if our operations have helped those ones that have been alleged to have escaped, have yielded that result, I think we're glad. We hope to strengthen the efforts that we're putting on in order to free the rest that are behind lines.
The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has flagged off the Rural Women Cash Grant Program in Anambra State. Udo Okoronko-Chukwu reports that 2,800 indigent women are expected to benefit across the 21 local government areas of the state.
The program is part of President Muhammadu Buhari's way of addressing the plight of the poor and vulnerable in the country. This informed the establishment of National Social Investment Program. The representative of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Bashiru Nuru Akali, who is also the permanent secretary of the ministry, says President Muhammadu Buhari's vision is to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. He emphasized that the one-off grant of 20,000 naira is expected to help the women in their businesses and families.
Mr. President brought out this initiative to help the really vulnerable women. So this money is for them. There are women that 20,000 could go a long way in their small businesses.
The Commissioner of Women Affairs, who represented Anambra State government in the Dimezwe, commended the ministry, reiterating that the Anambra State government remains gender sensitive, allocating 85% of all micro, small and medium scale enterprises to women.
They were chosen from the 21 local government areas of the state, ranging from the widows, the vulnerable.
I want to thank them for remembering the villagers, the poor people in the community.
I'm so happy. I'm very, very grateful. I say may God bless our president for us.
The ministry is expected to empower all the targeted beneficiaries within the next few days. In Oka, Udo Okoronko-Chukwu, NTA News.
And from Oka, we take you to Calabar, where the Nigerian economy impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic is being given boost with different artisanal and small-scale mineral processing clusters in all the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Uche Chukwu Oga, who revealed this during the handing over of titled documents of land donated by the Cross River State government for the South-South zone of the cluster, says the initiative is driven by the federal government. Paul Label completes the report.
The development of artisanal and small-scale mineral processing cluster project is an initiative of the federal government in swift response to the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic to uplift the livelihoods of Nigerians. This it intends to achieve through harmonizing artisanal and small-scale mineral operators, customers and stakeholders based on geographical proximity. The Cross River State government is excited at the choice of the state to start the cluster project for Berite value chain development in the South-South region with attendant enormous benefits, spanning through job creation, enhanced safer mining, and fast-tracking development.
The potentials we have in this project is so enormous that it's going to be of immense benefit to the entire nation, not only Nigeria, to other African countries.
We are very happy. We are also looking at the job creation or, opportunity for youths to be able to work in the place.
The projects are expected to be completed in 6 months, while other states to host the clusters for different solid minerals with large deposits in their zones include Bauchi, Kano, Kogi, among others. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Lagos is our first port of call on nationwide, and Dotun will be our guide. Over to you, Dotun.
Thank you, Norleen. As the world marks World Wetlands Day, celebrated every February 2nd, environmentalists are amplifying the need for sustained efforts aimed at checking climate change and protecting wetlands. Diana Ajale reports that the British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos joined other nature lovers to advocate wetlands restoration.
Freshwater crisis and effects of climate change are bedeviling the world today. Aggravating this challenge is human consumption pattern and activities that put pressure of nature's resources. Wetlands and waters are two of the eco-casualties with adverse consequences on lives and the ecosystem.
The best way of protecting the wetlands is to have a renewal of our minds and hold nature responsible for our life support.
And to mark World Wetlands Day, the British Deputy High Commissioner Lagos, Ben Jones, and other environmentalists gathered at the Lufasi Park for tree planting. Let us plant a tree today. Let the rain fall together. The British Deputy High Commissioner in Lagos emphasized the need for more environmental protection, particularly conservation of wetlands.
So it's really important that we preserve wetlands, but also we plant more trees, frankly, we reforest, so that we have nature-based solutions to some of the challenges we face.
Know a lot about conservation or anything, and you just want to walk around in the fresh air, you will learn a lot. Peace and quiet and the fresh air, breathe in the nice clean oxygen.
The theme for World Wetlands Day 2021 is Wetlands and Water. It highlights wetlands, a rich source of fresh water, and encourages actions to restore them and stop their loss. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
The registration process for the National Identification Number is not as cumbersome as many are made to believe. Adeola Komiakere monitors the process at the Lagos Network Center of the NTA.
The National Identification Number requirements are simple. Download the forms, fill it, get your BVN ready, and a means of identification. Not forgetting to come fitted with the COVID-19 preventive measures. And in less than 5 minutes, you are done with capturing and taking of fingerprints. Although some Nigerians have complained that the registration process in some centers is fraught with alleged irregularities, some others who have completed the process said otherwise.
This is the best of time compared to what we would have gone through going to the NIMC office.
At least staffs have the opportunity to do the NIN, and it's so easy compared to the stories we've been hearing.
Very streamlined, very efficient. I wish everything works like this.
Staff of the NTA made good use of the collaboration between NIMC and NTA Lagos Network Center.
The reason we just thought we should appeal to NIMC to allow a detachment of their staff to come here and conduct the registration process for NIN is because we look at the nature of our job. It's so tasking that our staff may not be able to actually get the time to be able to go to these designated areas to be able to register. Not only our staff, maybe people within the neighborhoods. It's a very extraordinary gesture they have done to us, and we remain very grateful to NIMC in Lagos.
National Identification Number enables all records of Nigerians be stored in a database for easy identity verification. Nigerians have been advised to be orderly at registration centers for a seamless process. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Let's take our first break nationwide. The news continues shortly.
Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, FNCS, FBCS, FIIM, cordially invites you to the groundbreaking ceremony of the National Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center on Thursday, 4th February 2021 by 12 p.m. behind Bolingo Hotel Central Area, Abuja. The center, aimed at creating an innovative ecosystem, will focus on building an enabling environment that would inspire, connect, and support technology startups, entrepreneurs, and businesses towards innovations and indigenization of technologies. It will be equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that will catalyze innovations by all stakeholders, thereby stimulating economic vitality to create jobs for Nigeria's teeming youths. This is another giant stride of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration towards realizing the vision of transforming Nigeria into a leading digital economy, providing quality life and opportunities for all. Attendance is strictly by invitation in compliance with COVID-19 regulations. Announcer Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi, CCIE Director General, NITA.
You wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire. Teacher yo afe lo wa nkan je. Teacher yo afe lo wa nkan je. Omo ni resiti ne.
Go na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged yes school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Second, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders. Hey, we are trying, Shao. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, I talk with that now.
Not for me. You want to make a die?
Not for me because of Pamio.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Abuja. Now to judiciary. The arraignment of the former governor of Abia State and chief whip of the Senate, Orji Uzokalu, has been stalled at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chinguba reports that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, wants the trial transferred to Lagos Division of the court.
The Federal High Court had last year scheduled the arraignment of the former governor of Abia State, Orji Zokalo, by the EFCC on the 2nd of February. The prosecution counsel, Chile Okoroma, informed the court that EFCC had written a letter to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court seeking a transfer of the case to the Lagos Division of the court. He told the court that the request was based on the previous decisions of the Federal High Court and Court of Appeal, which held that no element of the defense in the charge took place in Abuja. He urged the court to adjourn the matter indefinitely, pending the decision of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. Justice Enyang Ikon, however, declined the request. The Federal High Court, Lagos, had convicted the former Abia State governor, his companies, Lock Nigeria Limited, and former finance director James Udogo for allegedly stealing 7.1 billion naira from the state treasury. He was sentenced to 12 years imprisonment. However, after spending 6 months in custody, the Supreme Court, in a judgment, nullified the conviction and ordered that the defendants be retried. The matter comes up on the 7th of June. In Abuja, Vera Chinguba, NTA News.
The federal government's Interministerial Committee on the Disposal of Forfeited Assets has commenced the inspection and valuation of the properties as a first step to their disposal. Led by the Solicitor General of the Federation, Mr. Dayo Akpata SAN, who is the chairman of the committee, the assets being assessed are located across the country. Femi Okiu has the story.
After weeks of its groundwork, the federal government's Interministerial Committee for the Disposal of Forfeited Assets has now gone on the field to do a physical inspection of the assets already recovered. The Interministerial Committee was inaugurated on the 9th of November 2020 following a presidential directive for the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation to coordinate and oversee a uniformed process for the recovery, management and sale of all assets forfeited to the federal government. Now the committee says it has compiled a list of assets that have been finally forfeited to the federal government, which are situated in 25 locations across the country. In disposing them, Chairman of the committee, Mr. Dayo Akpata SAN, says the federal government's focus on transparency and accountability will be strictly adhered to.
The committee intends to engage valuers and auctioneers as part of the process in the disposal of assets forfeited to the federal government, and the list of assets will be published accordingly.
The inspection took the committee to properties in Maitama, Wusetu, Galadimawa, and the federal government's car dump in the central area, all in Abuja. Other properties include water vessels, ships, barges, and several other landed property in other places across the country. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Following a court order to shut the popular UTC Mock Shopping Plaza and the Wuse Market over breach of COVID-19 protocols, the commercial centers have remained closed as at Tuesday morning, with traders hovering around the vicinity. Abdullahi Ajia, who monitored the situation, however, reports that the traders are appealing for leniency from the FCT authority.
The Area 7 shopping center here, popularly known as the UTC, and the one opposite it here, the Mock Shopping Plaza, are two commercial nerve centers in the nation's capital that provide serious economic ventures on a daily basis. As we speak, the security are here to ensure compliance of the court order given yesterday by a mobile court over failure to comply with COVID-19 protocols around these shopping plazas.
The traders who were caught in the web of the law enforcement order were seen in clusters, lamenting and counting their losses as a result of the development.
We have done wrong, The government is actually trying to help us say wear face masks.
There are some works that are pending in our shops here. And those works, there are times for those jobs to be delivered.
Everybody have learned now. We have to abide it because it's our own, for our own good and safe.
The Wuse market is one of the commercial centers affected by the mobile court order yesterday to be shut down as a result of non-compliance to the COVID-19 protocols. As we speak this morning, security agents in their numbers are here to ensure compliance that nobody goes into the market.
The situation at the Wuse market leaves much to be desired as the traders loitered around the market.
Anywhere there is non-compliance, in line with the law, in line with the presidential order, there will be punitive measures against that environment. And we are all in that agreement. So they came yesterday, they found lapses, they shut down the market. We have asked all traders to disperse, not to further spread COVID-19.
The traders in all the affected markets said they have learnt their lessons, adding that measures are already being put in place even before the 3-day seal-off elapses. Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Next is our Kaduna Network Center, and Amina is standing by with stories trending from that zone. You're on, Amina.
Thanks, Nolin. Welcome to Kaduna. Following government's approval, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, like other federal tertiary institutions, has reopened for academic activities amidst the second wave of COVID-19. From Zaria, Sagir Muhammad Awal brings us the situation report.
Ahmadu Bello University Zaria gradually bouncing back to life after several months of closure on account of COVID-19. In keeping with the new normal, the institution is resuming under strict compliance with safety regulations from the entrance to the classes and general school environment. Provisions are made and adherence is strict with students attending classes in batches.
The division they made of not making all of us resume has been very helpful. We're scanting in the hostel, even in classes. Like, we don't allow anybody to walk around without those masks. We don't have our task force to enforce those protocols.
The university authorities say all guidelines and protocols are adequately taken care of to curtail the spread of the virus within and outside the campus.
The management had put in place quite a number of the non-pharmaceutical protocols in place. First and foremost, the university has fumigated all the hostels, the lecture rooms that our students are going to use, the seminar rooms.
There are indications that many on the campus are coming to terms with the reality of the new normal. In Zaria, I'm Sagir Muhammad Awal, NTA News.
Motorists flying Hadija Nguru Federal Highway are commending the visionary initiatives of federal government for the reconstruction of the road, saying it will impact on the economy and improve the living conditions of people along the axis. Ibrahim Belagunda has a situation report on the road hitherto deserted for its bad portions.
Jigawa is a gateway to many Nigerian states, the commercial city of Kano and Niger Republic, with 12 federal roads passing through Jigawa state. Some of these roads are currently under rehabilitation to the level of general upgrade and reconstruction.
In the instance of completing this way, Alhamdulillah, everything has been normal and easy. We thank federal government of Nigeria.
The road is so smooth, it's so good. It's impacted positively in both economic and social life of the people of this area. In the past years, this road became death trap. It claimed thousands of lives.
The 72.2 kilometer Hadija Nguru was awarded in 2010 at the cost of about 12.8 billion naira. It, however, received the desired attention under the present administration.
It's a credit to the present administration because they continue with the work. They didn't put politics to say they are not the one that awarded the contract, but they continued and finished it successfully.
Contract for another federal road, Kenya Baba to Babamutum in Jigawa State, has also been awarded, and work is expected to commence soon. The projects are part of the current administration's agenda to diversify the economy and facilitate movement of farm produce and other commodities to different parts of the country. From Dutse, Ibrahim Bello Gunda, NTA News.
In line with federal government's effort to reposition the Nigerian armed forces for effective application of power in decimating all forms of criminality, Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji has trained middle cadet officers of the Nigerian Navy legal framework on combating threats to Nigeria's maritime environment. Suleiman Abdullahi Rugachukwu reports.
These naval personnel are members of the Junior Course 4-3, brought together to brainstorm on maritime law in relation to national security.
Within the context, presentations at the seminar are designed to develop the professional understanding and knowledge of selected officers in order to prepare them for the increasing responsibilities both in staff and command appointments, as well as combating threats in the Nigeria's maritime domain.
When they are acquainted with the legal framework that guides suppression of piracy, they are able to work with this knowledge to contain piracy activities in our waters.
Contributions by the middle-level officers are expected to shape policy formulation and implementation with regards to maritime law enforcement. Suleiman Abdullahi Rugachukwu, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Nolin in Abuja.
Oh, Amina, from Kaduna, we move you over to Gusau, where a renowned Kaduna-based Islamic cleric, Dr. Ahmed Gumi, has endorsed the modern Ruga initiative of Zamfara state government, describing it as one of the viable solutions to the advancing banditry menace in the northwest geopolitical zone of the country. The cleric made the remarks when he inspected the project as part of his 5-day peace-building visit to Zamfara State. Sadia Abubakar has more.
The Modern Ruga project is an initiative of the present administration in Zamfara State aimed at addressing the persistent security challenges in the state. The pilot project, sited at Ranji Forest in Maradun local government area of Zamfara West Senatorial District, covers more than 2,200 hectares comprising housing estate, vast grazing area, schools, market, hospitals and mosques, among other things. The project is the first point of call by the renowned Islamic scholar, Dr. Ahmed Gumi, who is in Zamfara State on a peace-building mission. He was conducted round and briefed on the project by some officials of the state government. They informed the Islamic cleric that the first modern Ruga, which has reached an advanced stage of completion, is to be replicated in some other 2 senatorial districts of the state.
It's an excellent project which, if we have it all spread all over, then it will solve the problem of migration of cattle, because they are settled and they have all the amenities like hospitals, like schools for the children.
Dr. Gumi, who is expected to spend 5 days reaching out to major stakeholders in the peace-building process, visited the Emir of Maradun's palace and was received by the senior district head of the emirate, Alhaji Bala Sarkin Kaya. In Gusau, Sadia Abubakar Tuno, NTA News.
And talking politics, we take you to Akure, where the All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State is set to commence the revalidation and registration exercise. The state governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, speaking at the party's stakeholders meeting in Akure, however, cautioned against begging new members to join the party. Abiola Rio reports.
The stakeholders meeting afforded members opportunity to strategize on the modalities and formats the registration exercise will take. The state governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, who chaired the meeting, stressed the need for members to be committed to the party, as there is no basis to register members who will not be committed to the party financially.
Register as a members of a party, it is good, but please go after people who really have interest in the party. It will be a continuous exercise.
Members of the Registration and Revalidation Committee in the state gave an assurance that all the needed materials are available in the state.
We are here to serve our conscience, and we are here to ensure we do everything that will be in line with the good intention of the leadership of the party.
APC members say the registration A revalidation exercise, which will be carried out across the nation, is aimed at strengthening the party in Akure. Abiola Rio, NTA News.
And here in Abuja, factional leaders of the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State have agreed to work together and sustain their efforts to build the party. Addressing journalists at the end of a meeting with the leaders at the party secretariat in Abuja, caretaker chairman Governor Maimala Buni says there are no more factions within the party in Zamfara State. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports. All right, I'm told we're going to bring you that film in our next bulletin. Benin is our next port of call where Agatha is waiting to deliver. Hi, Agatha.
Hello, Nolin. Good to see you. Good evening and a warm welcome to Benin. And with the resumption of schools in Edo State on the 1st of February, the state government has deployed its response team to move around the schools in Benin metropolis and ensure compliance with the COVID-19 safety protocols. Elizabeth Omoko has the report.
Members of the Edo State COVID-19 response team, security agencies, Red Cross Society of Nigeria, NCDC officials, and other stakeholders visited the Magoro Junior Secondary School, Owedo Girls Junior and Senior Secondary Schools, and a private school in the metropolis. At the various schools visited, the leaders of the COVID-19 response team took time out to interact with the principals and students on the reasons to contain the community spread of the disease in the state. For the team, the exercise by the state government became necessary to find out if schools adhere to NCDC guidelines and government's directives.
Good so far, all well and good so far. Most schools that we visited all comply.
Heads of the schools visited commended the Edo State government for the exercise.
We are so impressed with the team.
They believe that with the resumption of schools in the state, it is expected that stakeholders will maintain the safety guidelines of COVID-19 to rid the state of the killer virus. In Benin, Elizabeth Omako, NTA News.
And in the meantime, schools in Ondo State will begin to make adjustments in the periods of teaching of each subject to avoid overcrowding in classes due to increasing cases of COVID-19 in the state. The Acting Commissioner for Health, Dr. Jibayo Adeyeye, gave this indication during a joint inspection of schools in Akure. Olubukola Aduwo has details.
This is a typical classroom in many secondary schools in Akure. The state government says overcrowding is a major challenge in most public schools as far as compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols is concerned. To this end, the State Ministry of Education and the State Interministerial Committee on COVID-19 inspected some schools in Akure to ascertain the level of compliance with the safety guidelines. Although students and their teachers are complying with the rule of mandatory use of face mask, the Ministry of Education says it is working out measures to restructure classrooms so that the number of students at any point in time is tolerable.
Ultimately, there has to be decisions about what we do in terms of school calendar, in terms of number of schools per class, that will ensure that we get a permanent solution to this.
The team also ordered the cancellation of morning assemblies, any form of congregation, and reduction of break periods in all schools in the state.
Still educate the children, don't share foods, don't share face masks, don't share biros, pencils.
The delegation expressed satisfaction with the level of compliance observed in schools, while urging school principals not to relent in enforcing the safety protocols in their schools. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwo, NTA News.
And that's it from here. Nationwide continues with Mina in Enugu, but right after this break, to stay with us.
A new edition of TV Guide is out with special focus on the game changer, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Broadcasting in a digital economy, Maxwell Lobo gives an insight. This edition also features Nancy Naji of AIT, a name synonymous with business. Meet the NCDC boss, Dr. Chikwe Ihekweazu. TV Guide, your indispensable companion, also x-rays the relevance of social media in the modern society. Meet some TV professionals who have impacted their spaces and other inspiring stories in sports, entertainment, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or NTA stations nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes innocently, other times the urge to break it first. This, in most cases, has caused destruction in many nations.
NTA News 24. A 24-hour news station brings to you news and happenings 7 days a week.
News at 10 a.m., news update at 11 and 1 p.m.
News desk at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. and late evening news at 11 p.m.
Follow us on any of our platforms and keep abreast of events and current affairs within and outside our shores.
We are on DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 46,
StarTimes channel 101 and Free TV channel 703. Join us.
Enugu. 2,800 women in Enugu State are to benefit from the federal government special cash grant for Rural Women Program. Flagging off the program in the state, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, said that the program is part of the federal government's strategy to elevate the living standards of poor, vulnerable Nigerians. Susan Eze has the report.
Beneficiaries of the 20,000 Naira grant were grateful to the federal government.
I'm grateful that I'm one of the people that are considered today.
The cash grant for Rural Women Program is another component of the National Social Investment Program initiated to reduce poverty in Nigeria. With all of the programs under this initiative, including the monthly conditional cash transfer, the N-Power, among others, Minister, represented by a permanent secretary, Bashir Akali, believes that with complementary efforts of the Enugu State government, the targeted beneficiaries would be adequately covered.
This money belongs to you and you alone. It is meant for you to use in any small business venture that you deem fit and that will improve your lives.
With several federal government intervention programs already under implementation in the state, the Enugu State government received the cash grant for Rural Women Program with open arms.
It's also gratifying to note that despite the present economic struggle and very challenges, the Muhammad Buhari-led administration is continuing with and even expanding this key strategy for enhancing social inclusion.
The program targets over 125,000 women across the country. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The National Human Rights Commission is sitting in Enugu to investigate about 28 cases of sexual and gender-based violence in Nigeria. James Oparekocha was at the inauguration of the sitting in Enugu.
Sitting, the panel received
113 complaints across the 6 geopolitical zones. The Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, Tony Ojukwu, said the number of reported cases is on the increase as a result of more awareness the Commission is creating, as well as more confidence the victims have in the Commission. Goodwill messages came from the Chief Judge of Enugu State and the former DG, National Institute for Advanced Legal Studies, as well as other non-state actors.
Sufficient sensitization and awareness seem to have propelled or motivated the people in the Southeast.
Over the years, victims of sexual and gender-based violence found it difficult to report their cases, mainly due to stigmatization and the rigorous protocols before conviction.
Victims should come out and report cases because, you see, any case that is not reported, you have just allowed the perpetrator to go scot-free. So this is to encourage victims. Please speak out, because unless you speak out, you can't get assistance.
The panel, which sat in Owerri during the first sitting, will be in Enugu for 2 days and will also visit Ebonyi State during the second sitting in the southeast in Enugu. James Oparikocha, NTA News.
And that's it from Enugu. It's back to Nolin in Abuja for a continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you so much, Mina. President Muhammadu Buhari's holistic approach to addressing issues affecting Nigerians again has been brought to bear, with a federal fire service commencing full operation in Ebonyi State. Chinaza John reports that a state-of-the-art fire truck for the purpose of fighting fire outbreak by the command was recently inaugurated by Governor David Umahi.
Fire outbreak is one that hardly announces when it will happen, and when it occurs, leave tales of woe behind due to loss of life or property. To prepare for it as well as reduce the damages often linked to it due to inadequate logistics, gave birth to the inauguration of a fire truck for the Federal Fire Service Ebonyi State Command. The fire truck, which is equipped with state-of-the-art facility, was approved for prompt response to fire outbreaks in the state.
But by this gesture of the federal government, it has assured us that if we were fighting at a level, our level now has moved to another level.
The presence of the Federal Fire Service in the state is to complement efforts of the state fire service in firefighting, risk assessment, fire prevention, through awareness, through enlightenment creation.
With the establishment of the command in Ebonyi State, the 2,000 liters fire truck is readily stationed in Abakaliki for quick response to distress calls. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
Let's join Olumide Gontola on Sports Update.
The Nigerian Basketball Federation has assured Nigerians and personal reasons.
We have a rolling belt, I would say, where we can pick and when people cannot make it. But that still will not stop us from having a good show.
In another development, our foremost organizer of marathon and road races in Nigeria, Bukola Olokpade, have set 2nd of October 2021 date for the maiden edition of Abuja City International Marathon, with our telecommunication company and our financial institution set to be partners. In volleyball, Oloru Super Angels emerged champions of the maiden edition of Moro Abdurrahman Abdurazak Volleyball Super Cup Invitational Tournament held in Ilorin, with a 3-1 victory over Niger Ravens of Minna at 25-17, 23-25, 25-21, and 25-18.
We are helping these younger ones to achieve their life goals.
The standard is very high, looking at the quality of team invited. 1 or 2 of the teams have actually qualified for the sports festival.
We've taken the volleyball championship down to the local government. That means we are going back to the route where we're supposed to be. These are our younger ones coming up.
From Ekiti, members of Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, SWAN, join other sports journalists across the country to mark the 57th Nigerian Sports Journalists Day They used the opportunity to enlighten athletes and officials on the need to always observe safety protocols against the spread of coronavirus as they distributed stickers, posters and flyers to further disseminate the message to members of the public.
Do the needful because only the healthy do sports.
With sports updates, Olumide Kuntola, NTA News.
And on a solemn note, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has lamented over the death of one of his predecessors, Prince Tony Momo, and a chieftain of the APC, saying his demise has robbed Nigeria of a rare patriot and a respected elder statesman. In a statement, the minister said the former minister was a strong believer in Nigeria's ability to surmount its challenges to become a highly respected member of the Committee of Nations, noting that this informed his letter, and I quote, "Letter to My Countrymen" series, which later culminated in a book, Reflections on Letters to My Countrymen, published in 1993. The minister noted that in his communications with late Tony Momo, he never for once wavered in his belief in a strong, peaceful and united Nigeria, and he worked hard to ensure the realization of this until his last breath. He urged his family to take solace in his indelible legacy. Similarly, the Speaker House of Representatives, Femi Bajabiamila, has described the passing away of a veteran journalist, Tony Momo, as a sad development. In a related development, the Speaker commiserated with the chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabre-Rewa, over the demise of her mother, Alhaja Sadiat Abike Erobobo. He prayed Almighty Allah to forgive Alhaja Sadiat and reward her with Jannatul Firdaus. And that concludes Nationwide. Thank you for watching. Do have a lovely evening.